It's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show on iHeart Radio. Just ahead, we talk with Randy Weldon, matron of car clubs across the Houston area.
Matron. Matriarch.
Mike Mars reviews his new car of the week. Plus, we'll have the upcoming events calendar and this week's auto news headlines this hour. It's just ahead on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with King Conrad DeLong, Jeffrey Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Mike Mars is off today. Filling his place is David Ainsley, our chief executive engineer, and Mr. Know-It-All.
You're a nice lady.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of nice ladies, let's talk to Randy Weldon.
Ladies and gentlemen, the famous and fabulous Randy Weldon. Randy, how are you, sir?
Mr. Mustang.
I'm good, guys. How about yourself?
Well, you know that we just joke with you a little bit now and then. You're a car guy. We can do that
because we love you.
We love you.
But you guys know I pay you back for that stuff.
Absolutely.
Yes, we do know that as well. How have you been? What's going on?
Oh, I'm good. No, not much. Headed up to western South Dakota.
What is up there?
We got a new hotel opening up there.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, do you not
Yes, sir.
follow Randy on Facebook? He takes these pictures of these hotel hallways because he is the
guru.
Well, he's the
aficionado.
satellite TV engineer that goes into all these hotels and changes the channels. So if you stay at the same hotel over time, they're always changing channels on you.
Oh, so you know Mike Mars.
I've heard of Mike Mars.
Yeah. So I did not know that you did those sorts of things. And
I actually create the channel guide that you see on the TVs.
Nice. Well, I guess that's nice. It depends on what hotel you're in and what kind of channels are the options. Have you put all sorts of things on the channel selection thing?
And what's the best hourly rate you get?
If I go back to the early 1980s, that is where I started. There's a whole underground world of hotels there in Houston.
Yes.
With little fences around them and stuff. We put interesting things on the channels then.
So
yes.
Are you still involved in the National Mustang Organization?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm still on the national board. We just had a meeting April 30th, actually.
Yeah. And so tell me what the club scene for the Mustangs is like here in the Houston area.
Well, it's interesting. People are having trouble getting people, car enthusiasts to come out and do things. But every now and then you'll see a get-together that's just blown out of the water. I know on the Mustang front, we've got the 3 local area charter clubs, Mustang Club, America Charter Clubs, working together again. So Mustang Club of Houston just got a new president this year with Richard Jones. Mustang Club or Northside Mustang Car Club just got Vernon Wilhelm as president. And the Beaumont Wild Horse Mustang Club just got Todd Quick as president. So the 3 of them today are on a cruise out to the Picket House in Woodville, Texas. I think it was last weekend or 2 weekends ago, we had the Wild Horse Mustang show. And upcoming, you've got the Northside show on June 11th.
At Gullo Ford.
Quite a big one.
At Gullo Ford in Conroe.
It is at Gullo Ford, the 13th annual, if I'm not mistaken.
And it's 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Gullo Ford. I'm assuming Mr. Gillo is going to bring a few of his collectibles out there to display as well.
He usually does, yep.
And some very cool cars.
And I will say this: Tony Gullo is probably one of the nicest car guys you've ever want to met.
Yep.
And for a dealer, the guy has done very well as a dealership owner. But he's got the personality that goes along with somebody that you would expect Tony Gullo to be.
And he's got a great relationship with the car clubs as well.
Yeah,
he's
a car guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's got a collection that is not just Fords. He's got a great collection of cars up there. Yeah.
It's funny, guys, to see him. He's 87 years old.
Right.
But to see Tony Gullo start talking about his cars, he lights up like he's a little kid. And he loves them. And
he's sharp as a tack. And his body may be 87 years old, but his mind is still of a 25-year-old car guy, and he knows everything to know about those cars in his collection. Yeah. Well, it's great to talk to you and to have you on as always. And you mentioned this cruise that one of the clubs is going on. I went on the Hot Rod Tour of Texas here a couple of weeks ago. I had the best time ever. Went by myself and joined those guys down there and had just a wonderful time over 3 days. It was great stuff and thoroughly enjoyed it.
I watched some of your posts along the way. Looked like you guys were having a really good time there.
Yeah, and it was a collection of cars and guys that were involved in this. Gals too.
Some would say eclectic, others would say eccentric.
Yeah, well,
Old
too, and there were some young guys there. I mean, it was like what you would expect an open hot rod run to be. Every kind of car, late model all the way back to 30s cars.
The Edsel police car.
The Edsel police car, yeah.
On a
Mercury,
Crown Victoria.
Crown Vic or Mercury
Crown Vic chassis.
Crown Vic chassis, yeah. And it fit almost perfectly on it. And that's some great stuff. I mean, you can't make that sort of thing up. I can imagine all the it's funny. I at first thought, oh, well, there's a whole bunch of Corvette guys, me being a Corvette guy. There's a bunch of Corvette. I'll hang out with them. Well, I did somewhat, but we all hung out with everybody. It didn't make any difference.
You're car people.
Yeah. And, when we would get on the road rolling down the freeway, you'd think that all the Corvettes would be together. No, not so much. We were just kind of scattered throughout the crowd. It was fun and interesting at the same time.
So, Randy, a number of years ago, you guys had the National Mustang Meet down at Ellington at the museum.
Yep.
Where is this year's National Mustang Meet, and when are you guys coming back to Houston?
Well, there's 4 meets a year that Mustang Club of America approves, and they start usually around the end of March, and then there's one in June or July, another one sometime during the summer, and then the Grand National is always the Labor Day weekend, or right around Labor Day weekend. So the next upcoming one is Memorial Day, or I believe it's right around Memorial Day weekend, out in California, in Northern California. The biggest little show on earth, I think is the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's upcoming. That'll be a national show. But to your question, Conrad, the Vernon Wilhelm, who just took over as president of Northside Mustang Car Club, when he and I sat down just before he got into office, that was one of the first things he brought up. He's like, I want to do another national show.
Yeah.
So the way that works, somebody will come to the Mustang Club of America board of directors. They'll make a presentation to get a national show approved, and then we'll vote on it. But that's voted on 2 years in advance.
So when they make a presentation, what is in the presentation?
Yeah, you're looking to find out what the draw is. You get an idea of how many participants you're going to have. You're looking to figure out what the financial impact is on the city.
What the facility is that you're going to use, and how that's going to draw more than just the Mustang cars.
Yeah, you've got to there's a lot of criteria to meet. So, the Mustang Club of America has an entire booklet put together on how to do a national car show. These things aren't cheap.
No.
Doing that show at Lone Star Flight Museum cost right around $95,000 altogether.
And you've got to be able to cover those. How do you cover those costs? With entry fees and that sort of thing?
You cover it with entry fees, sponsorships, sales. Yep. All that stuff.
Selling
merchandise sales. Yep. You get the little door prize sales and all that other. We had people. I think it was I don't remember who the company was, but they donated an engine for the Lone Star Flight Museum that was put up for auction down here.
Cool.
Brand new crate engine. A crate engine from Ford? No, it was ARC or somebody like that. I see. I understand. Yeah. Interesting. I had no clue how that handled.
So you still haven't answered my question. When is it coming back to Houston?
Well, Vernon's going to have to get to one of the meetings this year and make that presentation, then we'll be 2 years out from it. Now, there is a chance that if we don't have 4 shows for, say, like next year, that Vernon could have that show approved and pulled into next year.
And plugged in.
So you're going to have to stay tuned. You're going to have me on again, guys. I know that's tough, but you're going to have to have me on again. I'll let you know when that show is going to be.
Well, we also know that you're heavily involved with Coffee and Cars for a Cause at the Woodlands, and that is local charities once a month on a Sunday morning real early in the Woodlands.
Yeah, way too early. First Sunday of every month up there. That's right. And with MCAE, we also, Robert and I, put on a little cruise in up at the Houston Karting Center and have a little karting league going on. So there's a lot going on.
So I
You just
haven't
gotta
been
get out and do it.
invited to that.
Well, it's on a Saturday morning. We'd love to have you up there.
Yeah, well,
Can you broadcast from the cart?
If they have good internet, yeah. And you're talking about Alex Udell's
Yep.
karting center there in Conroe, right off of 330, if I remember correctly.
336. That's
the
right.
north, the north side.
It's on the north side of town, right?
I want to watch Don drive around in one of those carts.
you know, I love go-karts. I don't know how much they would love my back or my back would love them. But
they're a little rough.
yeah, maybe a back brace or something. I would be a little bit concerned about the smoothness of the track. And I will tell you this, that, it looks so easy wheeling around a go-kart, but you have to muscle that thing around those corners. And the faster you go, the more muscles you got to use.
There's 4 or 5 other people that are beating and banging against you too.
Yeah, exactly. So
It's-
there's a
it's
lot.
kinda-
There's a lot going on, and it's going on real fast.
Yeah. Just hang out at the kissing booth.
Yeah, or the morning taco booth that we've got out there.
There you go.
Well, so
is
do they separate the racing categories by age? Because for 90-year-old men, I think I'd do okay.
They got a
No,
go
they
kart.
don't. Everybody's thrown in the same group.
They got a go kart with a blinker on.
The whole time.
The whole time.
Never turns it off.
It's kind of funny. I've seen people buy three laps out there or 3 sessions, only to do 2 because the cart beat them up so badly.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, last time I drove a go-kart, I thought, oh my God. And I think was it Malibu? It might have been the Malibu Grand Prix. Remember those?
Off of 59.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that Malibu Grand Prix thing, that was a challenge because you were racing against the clock.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
I'll tell you what, to be able to actually improve your times, you have to be really spot on with your turns. And there must have been 30 turns in that little bitty track.
We did that in North Carolina for a company event, and I actually came in second. Got a little trophy.
Really? You probably still have it,
I
don't
do.
you?
Yeah.
You look at it, put it
All
on
the
put it
time.
on top of the
Dusted,
put it
yeah.
on top of the console
Kathy
television.
dusts it.
Yeah, because Jeff won't touch a vacuum cleaner.
Nope.
All right, Randy. So what's next on the agenda?
Well, next coming up is, aside from that national show out in California, on June 11th will be the Northside Mustang Car Show the spring show, which, by the way, that's open to all makes and models. So it's not just a Ford show this year in the spring.
And where is that?
That's at Gullo Ford.
Oh, the Gullo Ford
Right
one.
there in
Okay.
Conroe.
All right.
Mhm.
That I
Yep.
got you.
Exit Gladstone.
Gladstone.
Exit. That's right.
And
Yeah.
good location, kind of, real easy off the highway. So, I'm sure they clear the lot and fill it in.
Do you take Danny to these events?
I haven't, but I'm going to start taking her. I see Sue's laying down here in the studio.
Yep.
And I'm feeling really guilty right now because I don't have Danny with me.
Yeah, that's why we did that.
Yeah, thank you.
Randy, it's always.
No,
Go ahead.
I was just going to say I don't take Danny right now because she barks at everybody that wanders by, and
Well,
if
plus
I don't keep an eye on her, she's running off somewhere.
Plus, it's starting to get hot, and it'll cook
Yeah.
her little paws with the heat of the concrete and stuff.
Yeah, I have to get her a trailer with air conditioning.
I was thinking
There you
more
go.
of getting her some booties and make her walk funny.
Just put her up in a nice hotel.
So back to your trip that you've got coming up to North Dakota. How do you? I mean, do you fly up there or do you drive up there?
Well, I'm driving this time.
Are you
and
really?
That's 1,300, little over 1,300 miles one way. I wasn't originally going on this trip. I sent a server up to a qualified RF guy to install it, and they fried it.
Oops.
So they called and said, "Hey, what would it take for you to come up here and
Money.
install it for us?"
Money.
Money.
Yeah, that actually was the singular word sentence that came out.
So, with you driving up, are you going to see some of the sites while you're up there as well?
Oh, most definitely. I've been in all but 4 states in this country, so I'll knock another one off the list because Montana's only 50 miles away.
Yeah. Well, we
Or
know you've
50
been in
minutes
the
away.
we know you've been in the state of confusion as well. So,
For 66 years.
And so, what car are you driving up there?
I've got the trucks, the F-150 sitting out in the parking lot. And by the way, Interestingly enough, Conrad, you mentioned the cruise control. Two things. One, I'm going to beg you guys to please do a session or a show, a segment on cruise control and how to use it, how to turn it on and actually use it. Because people on the freeway, for whatever reason, decide they want to slingshot past you. Once they're past you, they slow down.
Oh yeah.
Oh, or
Drive you up the wall.
I completely agree. Or the idiot that passes you, but he doesn't, and he pulls up right next to you and then paces you. I that drives me nuts because
Yep.
I hate having somebody right next to me in the next lane. I want an escape route for somebody else doing something stupid.
How is our
happened last night on the way to or north of Oklahoma City, and it's dark. And I'm from Houston, so aside from being fearful of my Cadillac converters coming up missing, I'm fearful somebody's going to pull up beside me and shoot me. So somebody did that last night, and they're just going right along with me. I was like, "What is wrong with you?"
Yeah.
But dig this: you were talking about gas mileage. The truck actually pulled coming up here, and it's pretty loaded down, 20.1 miles per gallon.
oh
Wow, that's actually pretty
Yeah.
amazing.
That's a 5.0 in that truck.
Coming back from Oklahoma City.
Well, I'm actually in Wichita this morning, so I'm headed up from Houston on my way to South Dakota. So
Okay.
spent the night in
Wichita, the home of BG Products. We're right there is the
Oh, is that where you're at?
as 35 crosses the Arkansas River. It's not the Arkansas River. It's in Kansas. It's the Arkansas River. In the southwest corner of that intersection, you see all those brick buildings and the silver fluid towers. That's BG Products right there.
If I stop
Been
in
in
and say,
Wichita since been in Wichita since 1971 at our founding.
Only
So-
place that I've ever heard anybody have a pronunciation for a word that is typically Arkansas, Arkansas.
they do. He's
That's
right. He's absolutely right.
In Wichita,
Yeah.
it
It's
is called the Arkansas
Kansas
River.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
How is our Italian connection?
You're
Manuela.
Italian,
Yeah, Manuela.
Oh, it looks like she's out doing a lot, having a good time out there. From what I see on Facebook, I haven't talked to her other than that.
Randy, it's great to talk to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us today. Good luck on your trip. Be safe, and we'll see you soon.
All right, guys, thanks so much for having me on. You have a good one.
You,
You
too.
bet.
Okay.
Always a wealth of
Oh,
information.
absolutely.
And a lot of fun to talk to. He's just as much fun in person as he is on
He
Oh,
the
yes,
is,
he
yeah.
is. Yeah.
What you see is what you get.
Right. And we try to behave ourselves on this show because
No, we don't.
because we don't know who's listening or watching. So it's kind of like, oh God.
Oh, this is behaving.
Oh,
my
we're
gosh.
supposed to watch ourselves? Oh, no.
All right. Time now for the events calendar. Conrad has that.
Well, tomorrow at 9 a.m. is the Concert of Cars at the Needville High School, and it's a fundraiser for the Needville Band. It seems like Needville has different fundraisers all the time in engaging the car community. Also, tomorrow at 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. is the Classic Car Show at Second Baptist Church on Shadow Creek Parkway in Pearland, Texas, and that's an open car show. Cigars and Exotic Cars is tomorrow at noon to 3 p.m. at 27030 Kirkendall Road in the Woodlands.
Wait a minute. What's that address?
I know. It's
27030. How would you say
It's
it?
27,030.
Kirkendall Avenue. I can pronounce Kirkendall. Took me like 4 years to figure out how to say it.
Well, there
correctly.
you go.
And it's an exotics cruising, which there's plenty of exotics up in the Woodlands.
And hey, I'm an exotic too.
And then all, oh my God.
Oh, don't you agree?
Waiting
Don't you
under the
think I
Willow
am?
Foundation.
I think I am.
Is on the Main Street Loop in Houston is a $20 car show, and that is tomorrow from noon to 4 p.m.
What the heck is a $20 car show?
Entry fee?
It's under
for-
10 grand.
Yeah. Well, you pay $20 to enter the show.
Oh, okay.
Also tomorrow is the Republic House Car Show on Fairmont Parkway in Pasadena, and that's 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. The car show at Bayway Chevrolet is tomorrow at noon to 4. The Show Out Sunday Car Show at the Detail Garage on Gulf Freeway, which is down your way.
Mm-hmm. I go there.
And then on the 18th is the Freddy's Steak Burger out in Katy.
All right. Thank you, sir. Time now for this hour's car review. Now, Mr. Mars is not with us this morning. He's out, and he did record his car review. So we're going to listen to that now.
He put his shoulder into it.
Apparently so. And so we're going to listen to the review of the Infiniti QX80.
Much like its name describes, the Infiniti QX80 is a full-size SUV. Now, this is a large vehicle, and it actually came out in 2011, so this is the second generation. It's available in 3 trim levels. You have the Luxe, the Premium Select, and the Century. All-wheel drive is available in any one of these 3 trims, and they all seat 7 or 8 people. Now, the Infiniti QX series still contains that boxy style, that big SUV look, while some of them have kind of gone on something a little sleeker, different stylings, but this is still a big looking vehicle. It's got the power heated folding side mirrors, got a power moonroof, power rear tailgate that lifts up for you. Now, it's got some small running boards on it. Now, when I say small, they're not the big thick ones like you might find on a truck. They're large enough that you can use to get into this vehicle if you need them, but they don't stick out so far that you got to step over them to get out. So it's a really nice setup there. We happen to be running on the 22-inch aluminum alloy wheels because we're in the Century level. Now, when you get to the inside of it, the first thing you're going to see is this new 12.3-inch touchscreen that's sitting right up there in the center of the whole dash. And this is where you're going to find all your convenience controls, including the 360-degree camera system. Now, this thing is pretty handy because, again, this is a big vehicle. And a lot of places are, it feels like anyway, the parking spaces are getting smaller. So with having this 360-degree ability to look around the vehicle, makes a little more confident in pulling into a parking spot that's surrounded by vehicles. Now, you're also going to see that we've got leather seating surfaces. The front are heated and ventilated. The second row is heated, and they fold down and fold forward to make it easier to get into the third row. Now, that third row is actually a power folding, and the switches are on the inside the rear lift gate on the right side and left side that you can fold them down and fold them back up. Now, this thing is filled with a Bose 17-speaker audio system that really and truly you can crank this thing up, lift the tailgate, and just kind of hang out and have your own little tailgate party there. So there's lots of cargo room in this vehicle. Nobody feels crowded sitting in the front or in the second row seats. So there's plenty of room. It just feels big because it is. Now, to make this go, because this is a 6,000-pound SUV, it has a 5.6-liter V8 up underneath the hood, 400 horsepower, 413 pound-feet of torque. So they haven't downscaled this yet to a V6 with turbochargers or anything like that. So you can still have a tow rating of up to 8,500 pounds with this vehicle. Now, the EPA says you should be looking for 13 miles to the gallon in the city, 19 on the highway, combined for 15. Now, I had this vehicle a week. I had to spend some time on the highway, so I put 473.7 miles on this vehicle in 5 days. And so it was highway mileage, and it kind of skewed that direction. But I did get 15.3 miles to the gallon out on this vehicle for the week I had, including the city miles. One of the things I liked about driving this vehicle really well was the elevated seating. You got a great view, you set up kind of high, got plenty of glass. Now, it's not a sports car. It's not going to act like a sports car, but it's not a boat that kind of wanders all over the road either. It's just a nice, comfortable ride going down the highway. Now, a base model for this vehicle is going to be $73,635 to start. That's your Lux. That's your entry level. The base trim price that we were working with was $84,850, and the MSRP is $87,985. And if you're looking for something to kind of compare this to, you can look at a Cadillac Escalade. It starts at $76,295, and or even the Lincoln Navigator, $76,710 to start with. So they're all right there in that same base area as far as the starting price for the large SUV with towing capability, a lot of technology, a lot of features, and a lot of family room. Now, that's my review of the 2022 Infiniti QX80.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Mars. That was very enlightening.
Yep.
And we'll keep all of that in mind. I have a story that I've just been dying to get on. I'm not a big fan of these online auction companies, people that you buy cars from on the used market. Just not a big fan. But online used, this is a story from Automotive News. Online used vehicle retailers such as Carvana and Vroom after riding high on consumer and investor interest during the COVID-19 pandemic, are facing a reckoning. Carvana slashed 2,500 jobs and suspended executive pay after losing $506 million in the first quarter of this year. Vroom tapped a new CEO and said it would consider cutting jobs after reporting a big loss. Shift Technologies.
Say that again?
Shift Technologies cut its corporate staff by 10% last month. The now humbled disruptors, which just last year were tormenting franchise dealers with aggressive Super Bowl ads, are seeing their stock prices fall as losses grow. Carvana, the largest of the three, lost $506 million. As I mentioned, it sold fewer vehicles than it had planned and earned 23% less from each sale than it did a year earlier. Job cuts also on the horizon at Vroom after a $310.5 million loss in the first quarter. Vroom listed a workforce reduction as a key part of its plan to realign the business for more substantial growth. And is that suit talk there?
So they have stock, though.
Although their stocks have...
I had stock in GM in 2009.
No, not that stock. I mean stock of vehicle.
Inventory.
Inventory.
Although their
Tell you
stocks
why.
have fallen sharply, no analyst predicted that any of the three companies will fail. Among them, only Shift has listed a growing concern warning in federal filings, and at least one analyst predicts it has resources to make it through 2023 when the market may have normalized.
Well, didn't Vroom just buy the auction property here on the north side of Houston up there on Beltway 8?
Yes, nationwide, Odessa.
Odessa,
yeah.
and spent close to $1 billion in buying it, and in the process, we're going to lay off all these people.
Yeah.
So if you think about, because you talked about inventory,
Right.
if you think about why some of these losses are happening, it's called inventory adjustment. Let's say they've been buying cars, and we've talked to the Emmons brothers. You have to buy the car right, and Jerry still sends me stuff at auction that was sold at insanely high prices. So as they're buying these cars and the market adjusts, and it has not turned down, but it has declined slightly. All of these companies that have $1 billion in used car inventory, they have to adjust their inventory down. So let's say the market only goes down 1%. Well, at $1 billion, that's $10 million.
Right.
So they have to write off that $10 million as they adjust the prices of their vehicles in inventory. Has a huge impact on the used car market in where they're writing off these losses.
Well, technically, that's a floor plan. You got to pay taxes on that floor plan at the end of the year.
Well, floor plan is the financing you use to pay for the cars.
Right.
But the car, based on what you paid for the car. But what you paid for the car isn't necessarily the value of the car. And you may have overpaid for the car, and now as the market corrects itself, the value goes down. You have to write that difference off.
Time now for a quick break on the In Wheel Time Car Show. Back after this. Father's Day weekend, Saturday, June 18th, 2022. It's the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In, and you're invited. Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition will be at the same Lupi Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. on Saturday, June 18th. It's the only place cruisers compete for trophies and other prizes. Enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, and Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods, and get Lupi Tortilla breakfast tacos and adult beverages. There's no entry fee, and cars will automatically compete for custom Lupi trophies and other prizes. It all happens at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Kick off summer with Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition, Saturday, June 18th. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate Father's Day, the start of summer, and the return of Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, June 18th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Want to take a minute to tell you about Gulf Coast Auto Shield, a Houston detail company like no other. Gulf Coast Auto Shield offers paint correction services that'll give your car, truck, or SUV a like-new shine. Afterwards, you'll want to protect it with a professionally installed nano-ceramic coating or protection film. Worried about your very expensive windshield getting damaged, broken, or cracked? Let Gulf Coast Auto Shield install ExoShield, a windshield protection film. Give John Gray a call today or check out their website, gcautoshield.com. Hey, whether you own a new, ultra-expensive, exotic, or a 5-year-old Suburban, Gulf Coast Auto Shield will help keep your investment looking like the day it rolled off the assembly line. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is conveniently located on the South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of I-69, the Southwest Freeway. Meet the staff and check out all of their services online right now at gcautoshield.com. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via inwheeltime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeart Radio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeart Radio app, search for In Wheel Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In Wheel Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/InWheelTimeCarTalk.